We have a very special presentation that we're going to make now before we bring the corps out in full retreat and have our announcement of scores. Mr. Dan Acheson, would you step out here, please? You've got a helper, that's good. Hi. He is absolutely going to hate this, ladies and gentlemen, but it's something we have to do. And being the resident old guy around here, Steve Rondinero, I am proud to be the one to do it. As you have probably heard, this is Dan's final World Championship as DCI's CEO and Executive Director. He's going to be retiring, young guy that he is, after nearly 3 decades of tireless service on behalf of this organization. For our first recognition, I'd like to welcome to the field the 2023 DCI George Bonfiglio Chairperson's Award winner, Visit Indy's Matt Carter.
If I may express the gratitude for all of us in the joy that we've been able to celebrate here for the last 3 days, and the extraordinary leadership, the extraordinary personnel, commitment, creativity, and imagination that has taken place on this field, the dedication of those behind the scenes that have made it possible, the individuals who have made it so entertaining. Can we give a hand for it is worth it? It is not only worth it, it is an extraordinary example of a world that can't figure it out. And on this field, it gets figured out multiple times in every single show, and is a beacon of light for a world that needs this kind of messaging to see complicated as possible. And behind that leadership is leadership that is unsung, that is unheralded, and is extraordinarily humble. And I represent not only an organization and a city, but a grateful state that a gentleman had the confidence and the hopefulness that we brought to the table that we could be a city that could come alongside an activity, and in fact an endeavor more important than just an activity, and help it come to its fullest of potentials. But we couldn't do that alone, and we did that in lockstep with a leader that worked with us every step of the way, including hard feedback when we missed the mark. And that extraordinary leadership stands beside me, a gentleman who I didn't know well at the beginning and who's become a dear and great friend and one of the esteemed leaders that we've ever been able to work with. And on behalf of, I hope, an audience, on behalf of thousands who have had their lives changed by the extraordinary impact of the arts, in music, in dance, in story, I hope you will join what I can represent is a state that has benefited greatly from this activity coming here year in and year out, and our commitment to continue to grow with it in the form of the dedication of the leader that has led this place and this organization so long and so well. So on behalf of the state and the city of Indianapolis, I proclaim, with the signature of a whereas document that I will give to Dan and not read, today, the one thing we can do as a city is say, thank you, Dan Acheson, and declare it Dan Acheson Day in Indianapolis.
We are not worthy. You're very uncomfortable right now, aren't you? Yeah. Well, you can't go anywhere. We're going to open door number 2 now. For our next presentation, I'd like to bring to the field DCI Board of Directors Chair Jonathan Powell and Madison Scouts Executive Director Chris Comnick, who's Chair of Membership. Presented for the first time ever tonight in recognition of guiding the experience of a lifetime for hundreds of thousands of drum corps participants, educators, volunteers, and fans through selfless service, exemplifying the utmost in integrity, humility, and passionate leadership. It's a great award. We're proud to present to you the Drum Corps International Lifetime of Achievement in Leadership Award. It's the first time Dan, your vision and dedication have created a lasting impact on music education, competitive marching arts, and people around the world. He now has his own Founder's Trophy, as he should. And now, with Dan flanked by his family, I'd like to direct your attention to the big screen. You may be wondering, how did a former Madison Scout come to be standing here tonight? Well, my friends, it was not part of any grand plan.
I need your name, and I need you to spell it.
My name is Dan Acheson, that's D-A-N, and then A-C-H-E-S-O-N.
And the official title that you want to show under your name?
I am the Executive Director of the Glassman Drum and Bugle Corps.
Yeah, you're going to say DCI, but that job's already
No,
taken.
thank you.
What's that, Dan?
Yeah, you're going to say DCI, but that job's already
No,
taken.
thank you.
Hi, I'm Dan Acheson, CEO of Drum Corps International.
Dan Acheson's first brush with DCI came in 1975 as a member of the world champion Madison Scouts. A drill designer and instructor, Dan became executive director of the struggling Toledo Glassmen in 1985. During his 10-year run, Dan's colleagues thought so highly of his work and the Glassmen's dramatic rise that he was named chairman of the DCI Board of Directors in the mid-90s, while still running the Glassmen. DCI was also still struggling to find the right person to serve as the full-time leader, as executive director. Fellow Corps directors came to Dan once again. Instead of no thank you, Dan's answer this time was a reticent, well, I'll give it a try if you think it will help. I've been doing DCI broadcasts for 46 years, and I can tell you that Dan Acheson took over an organization that had extreme financial and operational difficulties. His steady, calm leadership was exactly what was needed. Dan Acheson is a problem solver, a team builder, and a visionary.
Dan Acheson, you're the man. What an impressive legacy you're leaving behind.
Dan engineered the move to Indy in 2006, which gave us a permanent home and helped put DCI on a solid financial footing.
Drum Corps International wants to become a part of Indianapolis's commitment to promote and to hold up the importance of music and music education in people's lives.
The deal was extended just this week. This stadium is a great weatherproof stage for our young performers on their biggest night. A worthy stage is an Acheson priority, as are enhanced member health and safety protocols. Sound Sport and Drumline Battle launched on Dan's watch and continue to grow, allowing even more performance opportunities. The Impact Band Project has given junior high kids from across Indiana a chance to share our spotlight and learn about drum corps. We have a new partnership with DCA's all-age corps. Dan is all about partnerships and relationships, and that includes a very loyal DCI staff. In 27 years, there have been more than a few bumps in the road, like navigating the ever-shifting sands of music licensing, royalties, and rights.
So I need permission to be able to download. And frankly, there are song titles, copyright holders that say, you can put it on a DVD, but you can't download it.
Managing internal differences among corps directors and organizations, corps conduct and member safety concerns. And we can't forget COVID.
We have, in all 48 years, many times have had to come together in a very profound way, and there is no stronger group than there is today as a result of that.
Dan masterfully managed us through the pandemic, keeping the lights on and culminating in a joyous on-field celebration in 2021. Then it was full speed ahead to mark DCI's 50th anniversary in 22. Lots of planning with lots of history and hoopla.
The essence of the DCI experience has not been defined by a trophy or even the achievement of the ultimate performance. It has been defined by the people who share in the journey, regardless of their role, with relentless passion and intention.
Now, it's not just that Dan did these things, it's also how he did them.
He has been rock solid all throughout this and never wavering in terms of his commitment and his support to all of the organizations in all of their struggles and all the trials that they've gone through. He's been that solid foundation.
I never saw him raise his voice or get overwhelmed or upset. He never showed those things.
Bam! They nailed the essential Dan Acheson. And when it came time for Dan to take a well-deserved bow during his 2008 DCI Hall of Fame induction,
I tend to be the person that would much rather be backstage than front stage.
well, tonight you're center stage, my friend, like it or not, as we say thanks for 27 years of amazing dedication to Drum Corps International and the young people you have served so well.
Dan, we have a surprise for you. You former Madison Scout. Thank you, Madison Scouts. Believe it or not, we snuck you in without him knowing it. Dan, thank you for your service. But the best thing in these past 27 years is I can call you friend. And there is no higher praise. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Acheson is going to be chasing those grandkids around now.